Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about why I don't prescribe Onyx. What does Florida Stone Man mean by prescribe? So when it comes to crystals, I prescribe, which means I know an energetic deficit that you have, a chakra that needs worked on, some kind of energy that's not there that you really need to be there to function properly, such as if you're completely ungrounded and you're running away from things all the time and you don't have a single relationship, a job, anything at all because you're just flighty and you run away all the time, then that's going to clog up every blessing and every avenue of anything in your life. So something like red jasper, hematite, smoky quartz would really help you. Now, you guys don't hear me talk about Onyx very often, do you? No, it's because it's a very, very specific reason. Onyx is one of those crystals that there's no such thing as a bad crystal ever, although this crystal will get a bad reputation. It has been feared by many cultures because of its energies. So many other crystals such as black tourmaline, black obsidian, what else? Nuumite, what other crystals? Just so many different black crystals. If there's negative energy on it, you can cleanse it off. Great, right? Cool. But Onyx, its name literally translates to onyx, which is fingernail or claw. So it hacks and it slashes dark energy away from you, and it keeps things away from you that you shouldn't have to be dealing with at all, right? Okay, that's cool, but most people don't know that onyx is a clairtangency stone. Onyx is a crystal that literally has fingernail energy. What do fingernails do? If you scratch someone and you scratch them away from you, then now you have a little piece of their spiritual DNA or their physical DNA. Hopefully not physical. I really hope you guys are not scratching anyone, but you have a piece of their DNA under your fingernails spiritually. So, and that's one way you can use Onyx as a return to sender. But I'm not going to teach anything about Onyx other than what I've taught in the past, which is information remains the same, and the fact that Onyx there's a few requirements with Onyx. One. And this is kind of a shaky one. Some of you have gotten lucky though. You have to be 100% balanced and 100% in a good place when you get Onyx. Why is this? Isn't the Onyx supposed to help you get into a balanced place? Yeah, but you have to be generally balanced. You can't be chaotic. You can't be always arguing, fighting, having drama, problems at work, etc. Because the first week you get Onyx, it's going to remember everything. It's literally a computer chip. It's a data chip crystal. It's literally, it has residue under it that can't be cleansed off of it. Now you can cleanse Onyx as a crystal and you can get negative energy that it was getting rid of off, but it gets rid of unknown threats basically by remembering what they are, so nothing can surprise Onyx. This is a very interesting point because let's just say you have these enemies and they go 9 p.m. to this club to gossip about you. Onyx is a crystal that really works from such a far distance. It keeps things so far away from you that are bad, and it literally scratches it apart. So whoever's talking bad about you, the Onyx will actually recognize the person talking bad about you. It'll recognize their location. Onyx is a very advanced stone. Now, how does that help? The next time they go to do that, the Onyx is already sending energies to scratch it apart and to literally get rid of whatever's causing problems. How can this work against you? Well, let's just say you're getting Onyx and you're having lots of arguments, you're constantly yelling, constantly fighting, constantly just lots of drama. Well, guess what? The Onyx is going to remember that. It's fully going to remember that. And even when you move past it, it's always going to keep bringing it up. Why doesn't this happen after a year of you having Onyx? So let's just say a year after you having Onyx, it doesn't do that when something pops up. It's because the Onyx is basically the default to your energy, and it knows that it basically recognizes your default, if that makes sense. So if you started off with Onyx and you're calm and you're peaceful and everything's good and everything's going great, it's going to remember that, and then it's going to keep bringing that up, and it's going to make sure that's preserved. And this is why some of you who have gotten Onyx gifted to you, or if you've gotten Onyx from a thrift store, the worst thing you can ever do is accept Onyx as a gift or get it from a thrift store, because you don't know you don't know where the person's getting the Onyx from. Most likely they've got it from a thrift store or somewhere else, and it's been sitting and several people pick it up. Usually and this is why I don't let like when you walk into a crystal store, everyone's just picking the same crystals up unless they have cleansing and charging mechanisms like selenite nearby, which I doubt most of them do. You're picking up the onyx, and everyone's energy is going into the onyx. I have to make a video about that too, because that's actually very important. But the onyx is remembering everything from everyone's picking it up. What if the person who gifted you the onyx was going through something, and then it didn't show, it wasn't on their face, and they gave you the onyx anyway? And guess what? Now you're having nightmares. Now you're having sleep paralysis, and all these different entities you're seeing now because of the onyx. It's really horrible, but you can avoid this, because if you get onyx from a person such as Florida Stone Man, which I don't even have onyx on the website, because I would like to make like an interview process for people to be able to get onyx from me, because that's how strongly I believe in what I'm teaching, is that this is a fact. This is known. Like, for people who have onyx for me, they know. I have seen people, when I've had onyx on the website before, I've seen people who get onyx from me, and they're in a bad place. And I didn't really fully know it at the time, because it still takes me a long time to accumulate and put together opinions and knowledge. But people who have gotten onyx from me, and they're dark people, they're doing dark things, they've had dark things happen, and they're in a dark place when they get the onyx, it's going to help a little bit. And onyx has some crazy nature to it. It literally comes out at night. So as you sleep, the stone activates and it wakes up. This is a crazy stone. I'll talk about the craziness of onyx in the future. It can literally wake up when you're asleep, and it can act like an entire it can act like an entity. It can act like an angel, or it can act like a demon. Keep in mind, a demon is a fallen angel, so it depends on the default of the onyx's energy. So when you get onyx, and even for me, when I get onyx from a vendor, and I'll scan the onyx with my energy, and I'll make sure the onyx has no energy it's picked up from whoever it's been in. So let's just say you get onyx from someone who constantly does drugs, or someone who constantly fights or have arguments or has envy. Now you pick up that onyx, and things will be kind of off. You're like, okay, things are kind of weird. Yeah, the onyx, you won't know it, but you'll pick it up, and things will be kind of weird. And then things just go haywire. That's because the onyx had a bad energy to it in the default, but when you get it clean from someone who doesn't have any problems, someone who doesn't have any drama, someone who doesn't yell and scream, someone who doesn't pout all the time, someone who doesn't because when you get onyx from someone with a whole bunch of drama, you're getting the drama with the onyx, and even though you might be in a balanced place when you get onyx, whoever had a bunch of drama and has the onyx, it went into the stone. It's complex. It is a complex stone, but it's actually one of the most powerful stones ever, because if you get it if you get it from a good place, and you know that there's no energy on the onyx, which it can be sneaky, there's a way to tell. There's an energy scan technique that I use by myself. I don't really teach that because it's advanced in with some crystals I can test if they're real or fake just by a very particular energy exercise, which I might teach in the future. It's very advanced, and you have to be advanced with crystals as well. But when it comes to onyx, I can't vouch for anyone who sells onyx, because when you get the stone, you might pick it up, it might feel fine, and when you fall asleep, you're having nightmares. That's a big sign that your onyx is bad, that the energy in it is bad. And keep in mind, onyx is pretty easy to get. It's fairly easy, but it can be tough to get onyx that's untampered with. And like for me, for example, I have only a set few amount of vendors where I get private vendors that I fully get all my onyx from. And even then, I stock up on the onyx. I'll put it in a box. I'll put selenite in it. And this sounds completely nuts, but I have different ways of storing onyx so that it's 100% reset. Like you can put onyx in a mirror box. A mirror box is just a box of mirrors in it, so the energy reflects back into it. But there's just several different ways, and you can make your own. You can make an angelic mirror box, which, besides the point, because onyx is an advanced stone to first get, so you can't just be like, okay, cool, onyx. Some of you who already have onyx and it's going good and well for you, you've gotten lucky. Okay, cool. You were in a balanced place when you got it, and you didn't even know you were balanced, and you got it from a place that was reliable, and it wasn't a really sketchy vendor or a sketchy person who sold you it. But The point is, you got to be very conscious when you get Onyx. You got to be extremely careful who you get it from. If you're having all these problems with nightmares, arguments, drama, fights, throw your Onyx out. Yeah, throw it out. Because if you got it from someplace that you're not 100% sure, then you can be 100% sure by getting rid of your Onyx. It's a lower end gemstone that is, it's not worth holding on to if you don't know if the energy in it is pure. And if you don't know if you're in a balanced place or not before getting it, you should absolutely know that you're in a balanced place and not really mess around with the chance that you might not be balanced. But not trying to scare you guys away from Onyx. It's a really powerful stone. Just make sure you know everything about Onyx before you get it and that you're conscious about it, because like I said, the main thing with this crystal is it's a data chip. It remembers everything. It'll bring stuff up over and over and over and over again. So you just want to make sure you're, number one, balanced, number two, getting it from a reliable or a good source. I have an interview process that I have for Onyx. I will not sell Onyx to just anyone. I have to make sure that people are balanced first, because I learned from past people who've gotten Onyx from me. The first 1-star review I've ever had on my website, because I have over 100 reviews on my website, was the only person who ever bought Onyx. And I kind of looked into what was going on with the person, and they had other Onyx that was not from me. They just basically had a bunch of Onyx, and things were going haywire because they had an Onyx problem. But Onyx is actually a really good stone. When you get it from me, the energy is completely untampered with, other than angelic energies, because I work with angels, as well as St. Michael the Archangel in the back. But I have to find a way to put Onyx on the website, like maybe just giant red flags, like disclaimer, disclaimer, you have to be in a balanced place to get it, because it'll be kind of crazy. Not kind of crazy, it'll be very crazy. It's known, I'm not going to say the other names I have for the stone, because I don't want to scare you guys away from Onyx. Just be very conscious with Onyx. That's what this video is about. Being conscious about having Onyx. If you have any Onyx stories as well, like, hey, I got an Onyx from a thrift store and everything that went wrong and people got evicted, and yeah, I've heard some crazy stories myself. Not some, a bunch. But research Onyx. Don't just take my opinion and take what I say for a grain of pepper, a grain of salt, and you can also look online and see other people's Onyx stories, because I'm not just saying stuff to say stuff. I'm saying stuff to help you. I've thought about making this video for a while. I'm like, these people love Onyx so much, but do they really know what they have? If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments section. I want to hear your Onyx stories. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!